Today I woke up feeling pretty good and feeling like I should go out on a run. Don't know where, I don't care. Put my headphones on and played my favorite song and drifted off to a different space.
Greetings. Shout out to all of you wonderful deep divers. I hope your day is going good. Peace, love, and harmony to everyone. I said, let me go live. How you feeling today, deep divers? Shout out to everybody who's here. Shout out to everybody who's diving deep. So, a big change is coming. We got a whole lot to talk about. A big change is coming. The new fifth dimensional world is here. The Hopis were right. They were right, deep divers. We got a lot to talk about. Let's go. I said, let's go. Shout out to all of you wonderful deep divers. Shout out to everyone who's here, everyone who's diving deep. Peace, love, and harmony to everybody who's here. Shout out to everyone who's been getting the book Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/the book. The Bible of Becoming Your Greatest Version. Also, the Good Ass Prana shirts at ralphsmart.com/clothes and spreadshirt.com if you're in America. Deep divers of planet Earth. Shout out to everybody who's here. Everybody who's diving deep. You are appreciated once again. Let's start this show off right, deep divers. Can we do that? Can we do that? Hit that super chat, deep divers. Let's start off the show with gratitude. Everybody hit that super chat, share the video, hit that like button. And let's normally I'm starting with elevate, right? But we want to start off in a very calm way for the fifth dimension. Can I do that, deep divers? Can I do that? Right, we're going to start off in a very calm way, right?
Just trying to be myself. It's a crazy world, looking to find my place, and all they do is la 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 la. Here I am, just trying to run the race in the slow pace. All I'm trying to do is run, not win, and all they do is la 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 la. Mirror, mirror, tell me, what is it about them? Living like it's their game. Karma said it better than me. You'll just end up losing. We're in a house made of glass, devils in disguise. I can see right through your eyes, baby, I can see your lies. La 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 la. We're in a house made of glass, devils in disguise. I can see right through your eyes, baby, I can see your lies. La 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 la.
Not calm enough, deep divers. Shout out to everyone who's here, deep divers. Shout out to everyone who's diving deep. Everybody who's diving deep. Shout out to everybody who's diving deep. So let's talk about some things. Shout out to everyone. I just put out that video on the fifth dimension from 3D to 5D. right? And these live streams I just do just to connect with people in lifetime, because I get a lot of messages, a lot of people messaging me, a lot of people commenting, right? So this is your opportunity. Leave a message, and we're going to dive into it, right? But like I say, let's start off the show right. Shout out to everyone who's here. Hit that like button, share the video, hit that super chat. Like I say, gratitude is the attitude. Shout out to everyone who's here. Michael Williams, shout out to you. Shout out to everyone who's here. Michael Williams, shout out to you. It feels so good to be alive. Can I get a hello there? Shout out to you. Like I say, deep divers, let's start off the show with gratitude. Hit that super chat. And, I got some beautiful music. Because like I always say, like my mentor said, Ralph, learn gratitude. That's the reason why I've got a YouTube Gold Award. That's the reason why Feel Alive by Ralph Smart is the #1 best-selling book on Amazon. Gratitude. Tammy, Tuesdays, you are appreciated. First time catching you live. Sending you love and light from cold Montreal, Canada. Your channel is my go-to for everything. Shout out to you. Let's get a Don DeMarco. Let's get a Don DeMarco. Let's get a Don DeMarco, right? So, Tammy, this is for you. Like I say, we're going to start off the show in a high frequency. We're going to start off the show in a very high frequency. Shout out to you, Jacqueline. This sounds like the fifth dimension. Shout out to you, Molly. Shout out to everyone who's here. We're just starting off in a good frequency, deep divers. We got a lot to talk about. right? Just warming up, deep divers, right? Just warming up. Shout out to everyone who's here. We just started, deep divers. We just started. How you feeling today? How's everybody feeling today? And like I say, the big change is here. The big change is coming. The new fifth dimensional Earth. The Hopis were right. We got a lot to talk about. But first, let's just raise it up a notch. Can we elevate, deep divers?
Yeah, they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. They feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way up, way too fly, yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation, now I got rollies, all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Water on bed like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came. Down the Marco. This far for myself, yeah. I had to prove to everybody else, yeah. I had to set them straight, yeah. I had to boss, I had to renovate, I know. They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah. I had to go delegate. They feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate.
Elevate, 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 deep divers.
Elevate, elevate, yeah. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, yeah. I had to elevate. Ooh, yeah. Why they wanna bring me down? So much drip, yeah. I almost drowned in it. I can't dim it down. Yeah, I'm way too fired up. I can't simmer down. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I see the flashing lights. Make sure the flashing right, yeah. I'm in my bag tonight, yeah. Ooh, I might just pull up a foreign. Watch out, the engine is roaring. It's too loud, you can ignore it. Yeah, yeah. This the high life with a few. Yeah. You can have it all, no need to choose. Yeah. First, let me demonstrate how you can rise to the top. Yeah, I had to elevate. Yeah.
Elevate, elevate. Shout out to everyone who's here, everybody who's diving deep. How great of you to join me, deep divers. Shout out to everyone who's here. Like I say, much love to all of you, deep divers. We're starting in good energy. We're starting off in good energy. And Shelly, you are appreciated. I am rising. I am a rising phoenix sitting in my car with my seat laid back, just enjoying. You are appreciated. Shout out to you, Shelly. Once again, deep divers, this is a live and interactive show. I just put out a video, 3D to 5D, right? And I said, let me go live because we got to talk about this, right? We got to talk about the big change coming. So much is going on in the world. We got to talk about the fifth dimension. We got to talk about a new fifth dimensional world. This is the Hopi prophecy. The Hopis were right. And we're going to talk about this. I'm going to go straight in, deep divers, right? I'm going to go straight into this. Straight into this. Once again, make sure you hit that like button, share the video. And we just started. We got a few hours to talk. We got a few hours to talk, deep divers. Make yourself comfortable. Make yourself some tea. Get a coffee. Get some alkaline water. Get some coconut water. We got a few hours to talk, deep divers. So, let's talk about it, deep divers, right? There is a Hopi prophecy. And this is huge because right now we are living in the greatest times of change ever. This is the greatest opportunity. I talked about the quickening. You know, a lot of people don't realize what's really going on the planet. And all of this was prophesized thousands of years ago. We are living in the age of revelation. Revelations. We are living in the apocalypse. The Hopis, Native American, were closely related to the Mayans. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to break down the whole cosmology, the whole history of the Hopis and the prophecy, very important prophecy, which is actually coming true right now in this time and day we're living in. Shout out to everyone who's here. Hit that like button, deep dive, share the video, hit that super chat, reading every single super chat. Michael Williams, you're most appreciated. Just wanted to know how you do. How do you know if you're vibrating at 200 or higher? Sending you love and light as well. Thanks for the knowledge. Hey, you are appreciated. You know, it's all about realizing the weight of your heart. How light is your heart? You know, a lot of people are very heavy right now. The energy is heavy on the planet. People are dealing with a lot of ego, a lot of baggage, a lot of trauma. And you know, to really know if you're vibrating high, you want to make sure your heart is light. My heart is light every single day. Every single day. Shout out to everybody who's here. So, a big change is coming. A new fifth dimensional world. We're entering a new fifth dimensional world. The Hopis were right? So the Native American tribes, you know, people always say, okay, Ralph, I love the turquoise that you have. Right? And that's the Navajo turquoise, right? But the Native American tribes had a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. And especially the Hopis. And they talked about how in this prediction, first of all, let me read you this, the Hopi prophecy. When the earth is ravaged and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people shall come onto the earth from many colors, classes, creeds, and who by their actions and deeds shall make the earth green again. They will be known as the warriors of the rainbow, right? So let me give a Don DeMarco for that. Don DeMarco. Right? So let me read that again. When the earth is ravaged and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people shall come onto the earth from many colors, classes, creeds, and who by their actions and deeds shall make the earth green again. They will be known as warriors of the rainbow. Now that is huge. That is huge because right now we are in the midst of the fourth world, which is linked to the Hopi prophecy, right? The fourth world. And the first three worlds got destroyed. The first one by a comet, fire. Second one by the Ice Age. Third one by the flood, Noah's Ark. The fourth one we are in right now. We had the pandemic, Russia and Ukraine. A lot is happening. And a lot of people are aware the world is ending. And that's because it is. The world as you know it is coming to an end. So this is why the Hopi spoke of the fifth world. We're going to get into all of that. But how are you feeling today, deep divers? Shout out to everyone who's here. Like I say, this show is not about me. It's the people's show. It's the people's show right now. So I want you to interact, leave a comment, leave a message. And like I say, we've got to remind ourselves right now, a lot of people are waking up. Huge awakening happening right now on the planet. Big awakening. And it's all happening because this is the signs of the times we're living in. We're living in the signs of the times where many people are starting to know it for themselves. Many people are starting to know it for themselves. Many people are starting to realize that nothing is what it seems, right? And I told you about this massive split that's happening right now on the planet between 3D and 5D, right? And this split is only going to grow larger and larger. It's only going to grow more and more. A lot of people can feel the shift. A lot of people can feel the shift. A lot of people can feel these changes we're in right now. Big changes. And that's why I told you right now is not the time to kind of be sitting on the fence. You have to know which choice you're going to make. Because now is not the time to sit in the middle. You have to choose a side. This is the time we're in right now. This is the time we're in right now. This shift right now. A lot of people can see it. A lot of people know it. And it's a time where you have to make a choice. Once upon a time, it was okay just to say, hey, I can be ignorant. It's fine. But now, that's no longer an option. You can choose to be that, but you will have to face the consequences. So tremendous things are happening right now on the planet. Tremendous things are happening right now on the planet. Shout out to everyone who's here, everyone who's diving deep. Like I said, deep divers, I got a lot to talk about. But like I say, you got to give thanks. Like Courtney is giving thanks. Shout out to you, Courtney. You know, I always say, give thanks, deep divers. Hit that super chat, hit that like button, share the video. You know, I got to say thank you to all the people who have been supporting, who are supporting present tense Infinite Waters. Courtney King, thanks, you are appreciated. Feeling like $1,000,000, Ralph, thank you for always showing up and keeping the vibrations high, even and especially when everything we see is made to keep us low. You are appreciated. Thank you, Courtney. Country King Things. Country Kid Things. You are appreciated. Country Kid Thanks. Thank you, Country Kid Thanks. Feeling like $1,000,000, Ralph. Thank you for always showing up and keeping the vibrations high, even and especially when everything we see is made to keep us low. You are appreciated. Let me thank you. Country Kid Thanks. You are appreciated. So let me go into it, right? So there is a Hopi prophecy. And like I say, the Hopis had this prophecy: when the earth is ravaged and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people shall come onto the earth from many colors, classes, creeds, and who by their actions and deeds shall make the earth green again. They will be known as the warriors of the rainbow. This is the time we're in right now. Have you noticed that so many people right now are connecting together from different creeds, classes, colors, and they are the warriors of the rainbow? They are bringing down the matrix. They're realizing we're living in an illusion and the truth shall set us free. Well, you see, this has all been prophesized a long time ago. And this is the Hopi prophecy of the fifth world. Let's talk about it, okay? The Hopis believe that humankind periodically passes through great epochal cycles or worlds. Their prophecy suggests that we are about to enter the fifth world. We Hopi believe that the human race has passed through 3 different worlds and life ways since the beginning. At the end of each prior world, human life has been purified or punished by the Great Spirit or Masu, due mainly to corruption, greed, and turning away from the Great Spirit's teaching. The last great destruction was the flood. The Hopi prophecy talks of us having 4 worlds, with the 5th world about to emerge from the ashes of the 4th. Right? So when you study all of this stuff, deep divers, it's fascinating because you see the Hopis were right. We are entering the fifth world, the fifth dimension, the age of Aquarius, right? And this is why the fourth world that we're in right now is coming to an abrupt end. You've seen what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. You've seen what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. A great war is brewing. And this is all a sign of the times that the apocalypse is here. We've got to remind ourselves, this is not the time to be afraid. This is the time to rejoice, because a new earth is being birthed right before our eyes. It's the biggest opportunity we have. It's the biggest opportunity because we are in the quickening. I told you, right now, time is speeding up. A year feels like a month, right? Time is speeding up. A day feels like a year. Like last year, right? That's how quickly time is speeding up. And this is all a sign of the quickening. You see, we've got to remind ourselves right now, are we in the right place? That's the question. Are we in the right place? Are we doing what we came here to do? You know, the universe pulled me aside and said, Ralph, this is not the time to take a break. You got to go hard, because we're living in the end times. We're living in the apocalypse. Everything that you've been doing has been leading you up to this point for the final showdown on the planet. And a lot more is brewing. Why are so many things happening? COVID, a pandemic, monkeypox, Russia and Ukraine, all of these things happening simultaneously. TikTok, the rise of AI, Neuralink, right? All of these things aren't happening by a coincidence or an accident. They're happening because this is the sign that we are in the last days of the fourth world, just like the Hopi prophecy. We're entering the fifth world. That's why Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum, is telling you, but you don't hear him, that there is going to be a great reset. By 2030, you will own nothing and you will be happy. In other words, everything is getting reset because of the fifth world. So the world as you know it is no longer going to exist. DG, you are appreciated. DG, you are most definitely appreciated. Love to you and your family, Ralph. Your soul is beautiful. And through your videos, I've learned to have the courage to stand up, face this world, and be a free being. Gratitude for you and all you do for humanity. You are appreciated. You are appreciated. Like I say, shout out to all the warrior queens in the house. Shout out to all the warrior queens in the house. Shout out to all the warrior kings in the house. This is the time we're living in. We got to become the kings and queens that we came here to be, the gods and goddesses that we came here to be. So much is happening right now. And like I say, deep divers, if you want me to talk about a specific topic, hit that super chat, leave it in the chat. We can go in. This show is not about me. This show is about you. It's about all of us. Jocelyn Vallon, you are appreciated. Feeling rosy. Why is it sometimes we feel like going back in the cocoon? Is it the pressure from the quickening, always coming back to who we truly are, just like that 3D to 5D? That's a great question. Shout out to you. Why is it sometimes, deep divers, we feel like going back in the cocoon? Is it the pressure from the quickening? Always coming back to... Let me tell you this, Jocelyn. Great message. Feeling rosy, I'm happy to hear that. You see, this is the reason why a lot of people cannot run anymore. You can't hide. A lot of people, it's like almost a light bulb is going off in billions of people, because we are in the age of Aquarius. We are in the time of the quickening. We are in the time of the great awakening. So even people who are trying to ignore it, they're starting to wake up. People who are so in the matrix, they're starting to wake up. They're starting to ask questions, because we're in the information age. That's what the Mayan prophecy was all about. We are in the information age, the age of Aquarius, the water bearer. In the age of the water bearer, you're going to be overwhelmed. That's why you're going to want to go in the cocoon. But as you begin to realize you've got all the tools inside of you to overcome any adversity, you've got every protection you need, every guidance you need, you're going to be okay. When you let love guide you and not fear. Deep divers, hit that like button and share the video. Right? So very important, very, very important. The Mayan prophecy, because the Hopis were connected to the Mayans. At one time, they all used to live together. So all of that wisdom from the Navajos, the Hopis, the Cree, very powerful. So let me break it down if you're just joining. This is the Hopi talking about the blue star. And I told you about that in the quickening video. You see, the Hopi said, when we see the blue star, the red star, this is when we will be entering the fifth world. That was actually symbolized with a great conjunction in 2020. That was the birth of the fifth world. That's the reason why COVID came. That's the reason why the whole world was locked down, because they had to lower the frequency. We're going to talk about that. Shout out to everybody who's here. Everybody who's diving deep. Like I told you, deep divers, hit that like button. We just started. Deep divers. We got a few hours to talk about this. And I'm reading every single super chat. Every single super chat I'm reading. Shout out to everyone who's here. Hit that like button, share the video. Got a shout out to Martin McFly. You are appreciated. I think I'm doing a live stream right, deep divers. It's always about interacting with your audience, right? It's not just about me talking. I want to hear from you, because you got a lot to tell me, right? Mike Fly, right? Shout out to you. Hey, this is for all your coin phrases I've been using. Feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there? Can I get a hello there? You are appreciated. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, my friend. And like I said, you have all the tools you need to overcome any adversity. Yusuf, you are appreciated. I've watched your video on how to get your ex back, but I can't help but to be fixated on just wanting to be with her. Do you have any further advice? Let me just tell you this. If you are someone, right, this is what happens during the quickening. And I got a video that's really going to blow your mind. But talking to you, Yusuf, you got to remind yourself, we're in a time where, and this is what we have to be aware of. Many people during this quickening, during this great shift of the ages, it's not personal. If people leave you, they will come back if they're meant to be with you. We've got to remind ourselves, if you have broken up with someone in a relationship, whoever is truly meant to be with you will always gravitate back towards you. We've got to remind ourselves, a lot of people are in their ego. A lot of people are in trauma. A lot of people are distracted. So we're not even dealing with people in their true minds and hearts. So there are going to be many breakups. There are going to be many arguments, because humanity is in a state of ego. What you can do, Yusuf, is to be in your heart space and work on yourself. Work on yourself, and everything you need will come to you. Shout out to you, Adam. Adam in the house. Shout out to Adam. Fifth dimension awaits. I've been hearing about this fifth dimension and was accepted during this live stream. Hey, Adam, you are most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you. You know, there was a film called The Fifth Element. That was an amazing film, right? The Fifth Element. Did you watch that film, Deep Divers? The Fifth Element, flying cars. They were talking about the fifth dimension. And it's always the five, right? It's always the five. It's always the five. The fifth element, the fifth dimension, the fifth world. Michael, shout out to you. Shout out to Michael Williams. You are appreciated. I realized something because we are moving up in vibration. I used to love soda and now my body won't let me take it in anymore. I don't feel good after. That's what's happening right now. You know, a lot of people are starting to reject lower frequencies and vibrations. A lot of people can't even eat junk food right now. A lot of people can't even drink soda right now because a lot of people know too much. A lot of people are too wide awake for foolishness. A lot of people can't watch TV like they used to. A lot of people can't be around the same people like they used to. Why? Because people know what time it is. We're in the fifth dimension, baby. Right? So, like I said, the Hopi tribe, Native Americans, prophesied this time. In all of the literature, their texts, they talk about this time that we are in the fourth world. So the Hopi prophecy, when the earth is ravaged and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people shall come onto the earth from many colors, classes, creeds, and who by their actions and deeds shall make the earth green again. They will be known as warriors of the rainbow. They will be known as warriors of the rainbow, right? So we got a lot of warriors out here of the rainbow. We got a lot of people who are really about it. We got a lot of people who are really awake and aware. The Hopi prophecy on the fifth world, the Hopis believe that humankind periodically passes through great epochal cycles or worlds. Their prophecies suggest that we are about to enter the fifth world. That's the fifth dimension, deep divers. We Hopi believe that the human race has passed through 3 different worlds and life ways since the beginning. At the end of each prior world, human life has been purified or punished by the Great Spirit, or Masu, due mainly to corruption, greed, and turning away from the Great Spirit's teaching. The last great destruction was the flood. The Hopi prophecy talks of us having 4 worlds, with a 5th world about to emerge from the ashes of the 4th. Right? So we got to remind ourselves, deep divers, this is huge because a lot of people can see that something is not right with the world. And that's because the world as we know it is no longer sustainable. Every world is built on a system, just like a computer. Now, when the program starts crashing, we got a problem. And that's exactly what's happened with the world we're currently living in the matrix, in the mainstream for a lot of people. The program is crashing. Why do you think the program is crashing? Deep divers, make sure you hit that like button. Hit that like button. Share the video. We got a lot to talk about. How are you feeling today, deep divers? I said, let me go live. Let me talk to you in live time. Hit that like button. Share the video. So, the world as we know it is coming to an end. And this is the reason why the Hopi spoke about the fifth world will rise out of the ashes of the fourth world. And this is huge because you see, a lot of people are already aware of what's happening on the planet. They realize it's not happening by an accident or a coincidence. It's happening because these are the signs of the times. We are in the quickening. We are in the age of Aquarius. This is the reason why they're talking about a great reset. Why are they talking about a great reset? Because it's over. The way humanity has been living up until this point is over. It's the end. That's the reason why they're talking about a great reset. That's the reason why they're talking about AI. I did that whole breakdown on Deep Divers. How do you like the breakdown I did on Megan? Right? I did the whole breakdown on Megan. A lot of people enjoyed that breakdown. Let me shout out to the wonderful Quantum Dynamic. You are most appreciated. Quantum Dynamic 8, thank you so much. We're rising as a tribe together like never before now, making space for each other, rooting for one another. And we are really transcending big together in this unified field. One love, light workers. Love you, Ralph. Thank you. Slow motion this side. That was powerful right there. Can I read that again? Quantum Dynamic A. I just want to say that was powerful. That was powerful. We're rising as a tribe together like never before now, making space for each other, rooting for one another. And we really are transcending big. We are really transcending big together in this unified field. One love, light workers. Love you, Ralph. Thank you. Hey, powerful, powerful. You just summed it up. That's why I told you. You know, it's the warrior queens you got to watch out for. Shout out to all the warrior goddesses, all the warrior queens, all the warrior kings. And we've got to remind ourselves, you see, I'm somebody, if you notice, deep divers, Infinite Waters has 50% men, 50% women, right? This is crazy. I said, okay, how many women have I got on this channel? How many men have I got on this channel? I have like 50-50, more or less. And that's the reason why I'm only here to uplift women. I'm only here to uplift men. If you've noticed, over the years I've been on YouTube, I've always told you one thing, many things though. I've always told you that respect the divine feminine energy, respect the divine masculine energy. We have to respect each other. And that's what the fifth dimensional reality is all about. That's what the fifth world is all about. You better respect these women out here. You better respect these men out here. It's not about going against each other. You see, the 3D is the separation between man and woman due to ego, due to a destruction of the family unit. Look at this Hopi drawing. The artwork, men and women, the great chief. So what we're seeing is the family unit was intact. In the 3D, there is no family unit. In the 3D, there's an attack on the family unit. And this is why the fourth world is coming to an end. Because the way we are living is no longer sustainable. In the fifth world, the family unit rises once again. There can only be a family unit when men and women come together as one. Men aren't better than women. Women aren't better than men. As you've noticed, I'm never saying men are better than women. Women are better than men. I'm saying it's 50-50. We need each other. And this is unity consciousness. We're all here to play different roles. Women have gifts men don't have. Men have gifts women don't have. So you have to learn this. This whole manosphere philosophy is only born out of a subjugation of the masculine energy. Because first there was a subjugation of the feminine energy, right? Women were subjugated, they were suppressed, repressed, only allowed to vote in the last 100 years. But once upon a time, there were matriarchal systems. Egypt was matriarchal, meaning the man took the woman's last name. Did you know that, deep divers? In ancient Egypt, it was matriarchal. You took the woman's last name. They had to switch it over. So now you take the man's last name. So we've got to remind ourselves, humanity has gone through different phases. At one point, it was a matriarchal society we were living in. Then it became patriarchal. But the matriarchy was only rooted in the love and reverence of the Great Mother. That's what James Cameron was telling you in the Avatar 2, the Great Mother. We must respect the Great Mother. I broke that video down. It's already gone viral. Because that's where we're going back to in the fifth world. A true total respect of the Great Mother. Shout out to everyone who's here. Deep divers, you're most definitely appreciated. I'm reading every single comment. Hit that like button, deep divers. It's not about me. It's about you. I love all of you deep divers. Shout out to everyone who's here. Make some noise. Studio H, you are appreciated. I love you, Ralph. How come the frequencies had to be lowered at the time of the Great Conjunction? Did it happen for detoxing the old world, for the reset? That's a great question. Let me talk to you about that. A lot of people know during the Great Conjunction I was going in. Let me give you a Don DeMarco. So during the Great Conjunction, I was really going in, really diving into it, right? A lot of people notice a shift at 2020. Even at the end of 2019, a lot of people could feel like something was happening. You see, what happened was humanity reached such a level of ascension. Humanity was awakening at a supersonic rate. Why? Because in 2019, there was no internet censorship. In 2019, Google, the algorithm, hadn't outsmarted human beings yet. So in other words, the internet was a very different place in 2019. Let me tell you, in 2019, you could go on Google and you can search about things and it will show up in the search engine. But right now, if you search about those things, they're no longer there. So even the search engine has changed right now. Once upon a time, the internet was a place of free information. The internet is not the same. Everything you Google, everything that displays on the first page, the second page, the third page, has been looked at to make sure it is in alignment with the mainstream. But you see, once upon a time, the internet, you could find websites, information. Now you can only find that stuff on the dark web. In 2019, there was this huge awakening happening. A lot of people feeling good about themselves, feeling good about life, happy, just thankful to be alive. People were coming back into the heart space. This was because there was so much freedom. That word, freedom. And you see, like I told you, many people on this planet are still fast asleep. Many people are very awake, but many people are also fast asleep. And the people who are fast asleep are called the masses. And it's always been like this. It's always about over 75% of the population is fast asleep. Over 75%. 10% are wide awake. The other 10% want to manipulate. And the other 5% will go wherever everyone else goes. That's the equation of it. So 75% of the population are always fast asleep. 10% are always wide awake. 10% always want to manipulate. And 5% will always go wherever the majority goes. Agnostic. So why is that important? Because you see, the 10% is super powerful. You know, the 10% can actually, all you ever need, and this is what the ancients knew, you only need 1% of a population to change the collective mindset. You only need 1% of people thinking a certain way, and that can influence the other 99%. That's why I always tell you, the power is in the 1%. All you need is 1%. So 1% of 7 billion, we're talking about 70 million. 1% of 8 billion, 80 million. All you need is 80 million people on the planet to be awake, hold a global meditation, and it's over. And it can shift the collective. So that was what was happening. It was more than 1%. It was about 10% of the population who was ready to be free of the matrix. They were going off the grid, going to Bali, going to Tulum, feeling good about life. Like I told you, that 10%, which is very wide awake, is super powerful. And they really were the catalyst for creating the Great Awakening, which really reached a pinnacle at the end of 2019. The other 10% has always been trying to hold on to power, hold on to control. Many people call them agents of the matrix. I call them the inorganic ones. And it's not a bad thing. You need these counter forces. You need these, law of polarity, the Kabbalion, right? That's just natural. As you are good, someone else is bad. As above, so below. So what happened was it reached a critical point where by the end of 2019, people in that 75% pool were starting to wake up. People in that 75%, the masses which were fast asleep, they were starting to wake up. And they were waking up at an exponential rate. The reason why is because of the internet. You had sites, you had apps going around, videos passing around, short clips passing around. And what this would mean is a completely different world. What this would mean is that people who had the power will no longer have it if enough people wake up. If that 75% wake up, the power is gone. You know, you got to remind yourself, if you've had a whole landmass, a whole island, you got people who are buying islands out here, right? People buying whole islands out here. If you have that kind of wealth, if you have like unlimited amount of wealth in the matrix, you want to hold on to it. You know, that's why families hold on to the wealth. Now, if enough people wake up and say, wait a minute, I don't want to work for you, now your wealth diminishes. So you need people to be dumbed down and ignorant for you to do the for you to use them as slave labor. So what happened was, the Great Conjunction was all about the energy, you know, this massive crescendo. The Great Conjunction was gonna, and it still is, was just gonna accelerate it even more, right? So that everybody is gonna wake up to something based on wherever they are at their vibrational frequency. Millionaires don't believe in astrology. Deep divers, hit that like button, share the video. I'm going in. Hit that like button, share the video. I just started. We got a few hours to talk about this. Millionaires don't believe in astrology. Finish the sentence, deep divers. Finish the sentence, deep divers. Millionaires don't believe in astrology. They don't study it. Who studies it, though? Who studies astrology? Who studies astrology? Millionaires don't study astrology. That's garbage, right? Millionaires, billionaires do. Thank you. Billionaires do. Millionaires don't study astrology. Billionaires do. They knew what time it was. They knew the Great Conjunction. They knew that the Ethiopian calendar, 2012, you know, the Gregorian calendar, I told you, New Year is not even now. It's in March. The Romans didn't even have January. They didn't have February. December days, that's 10. So why is it the 12th month? So even the calendar, you got to remind yourself, the Gregorian calendar is not accurate. Ethiopian calendar, there are older calendars which are even more accurate. In Ethiopia, in 2020, in the Gregorian calendar, it was actually 2012. I've been to Ethiopia, beautiful place. It was 2012. Now, the Mayans said the world will end in 2012. Now, didn't it feel like the world was ending in 2020, which was actually 2012? In 2020, you had the Great Conjunction. What seems like the end is nothing more than a new beginning in disguise. So how come the frequencies had to be lowered at the time of the Great Conjunction? Because the Great Conjunction was actually the birth of the Great Reset. It's not a great reset that you will own nothing and be happy. It's a great reset that everything, it's like snap out of it. That's what happened on the planet. Like people, the spell was being undone. The inorganic ones knew this. They knew that as soon as 2020 comes, people are going to start to wake up. They're going to start to see through the illusion. You know, there was a book called The Secret. Right? There was a book called The Secret. And when that book came out, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, did you see The Secret? That was like a big thing. Do you remember that, deep divers? But if you're in the know, you already knew about that. You already knew about the law of attraction, law of correspondence, and all of that. But for the masses, that was a big thing. Do you remember that, deep divers, when The Secret came out? Everyone was like, oh my gosh, it's like huge. Because a lot of people in that 75% didn't know about that. They didn't know about law of attraction, all of these things. But when The Secret came out, it was like, oh my gosh, this is a big thing. It was a big thing because people were still not aware about that in the mainstream. The chosen ones were, but in the mainstream, people didn't even have a clue about that. Right? So it shows where humanity was, right? So fast forward, 2019, COVID happens. And like I told you, what did Denzel Washington tell Will Smith? What did Denzel Washington tell Will Smith? Hit that like button, deep dive, and share the video. What did Denzel Washington tell Will Smith? What did he tell Will Smith? Because that's very important. That ties into 2019, 2020. What did he tell Will Smith? Because you see, we've got to remind ourselves that everything is symbolic. Everything is symbolism. So as the planet was rising, as people were feeling great, the devil comes for you at your highest moment. Thank you. Right? The devil comes for you at your highest moment. Now, I'm not talking about the devil as someone in hell, but, you know, the devil and God are inside of you. But your lower nature comes for you at your highest moment. That was what he was telling Will Smith, right? The devil comes for you at your highest moment. So that 2020, everyone is feeling good, feeling great about life. And that's the moment people, they got carried away. Nobody would believe that there would be a lockdown. Nobody would believe that you'll be wearing a face mask and doing all of these things. You can't travel. Nobody would believe it. Well, that's what happens. Just as you are feeling so great and the frequency is high, a lot of people forgot about that as the frequency is going higher, you've got to remind yourself to watch out, because this is when the devil will approach you. And that's what happened on the planet. They had to lower the frequency right back down to zero. So people, what was supposed to be the greatest time on the planet, which it was anyway, a lot of people thought it was the worst time. Can you see how the inorganic ones reversed it? I told you, you're dealing with master illusionists. If you think David Blaine is good, you haven't seen anything. If you think David Blaine is good, you haven't seen anything. Right? Inorganic ones are master illusionists. So just when it's your birthday, when the frequency is high, you thought that it was the worst time on the planet. But it was actually the greatest time on the planet. 2020 was the greatest year ever. Pardon? 2020 was the greatest year ever, because people were creating our vision in detail. What's that the acronym for? Deep divers. Creating our vision in detail. Everything slowed down. You had time to focus on yourself, reflect, see who you really are. But it was a time for creating our vision in detail. That's what COVID means. C, creating. O, R, V, vision. I, in detail. Detail. So in 2020, even though a lot of people said it's crazy, it's not a good time, but a lot of people actually found themselves in those hard times. In our darkest moments, we become illuminated. During the lockdown and the pandemic, a lot of people said, you know what? Screw this, I'm moving to Thailand. A lot of people started to also do research. A lot of people started to read, learn an instrument, spend time with their family. Everything slowed down. So even though the inorganic ones tried to make it bad, it was still something very positive because it was a time for the Great Awakening. So you've got to remind yourself at your highest moment, that's when the devil comes. Now, what happened? Like I told you, 75% of people are the masses. 10% are highly awake. The other 10% want to manipulate, and the 5% will go wherever everyone else goes. So when that happened in 2020, the 75% was scared. And that 5%, which was sitting on the fence, just went with the majority. So many people realize that the collective, the majority, were cast back to the Stone Age. And that was the whole plan. At the same time, something great has happened because the Hopi prophecy, right, speaks about when the earth is ravaged and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people shall come onto the earth from many colors, classes, creeds, and who by their actions and deeds shall make the earth green again. They will be known as the warriors of the rainbow. And we are in the fifth world, deep divers, the Hopi prophecy on the fifth world. The Hopis believe that humankind periodically passes through great epochal cycles or worlds. Their prophecy suggests that we are about to enter the fifth world. We Hopi believe that the human race has passed through 3 different worlds and life ways since the beginning. At the end of each prior world, human life has been purified or punished by the Great Spirit or Masu, due mainly to corruption, greed, and turning away from the Great Spirit's teaching. The last destruction was the flood. The Hopi prophecy talks of us having 4 worlds, with a 5th world about to emerge from the ashes of the 4th. So it all ties into this. The 5th world is emerging. Shout out to everyone who's here, deep divers. So, how are you feeling today, deep divers? Oh, we're live. I woke up like this, all magical and fly. Shout out to everyone who's here. Hit that like button, deep divers. Hit that like button, share the video. Let me shout out to Jamal. You are appreciated. Much love to you, brother. 1111. Inner knowing. Let me shout out to Inner Knowing. Protecting the divine feminine. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. You know, we've got to come back to the heart space right now. Inner knowing, you are appreciated. Protecting the divine feminine. Making peace with ourselves will stop the destruction. We are nature. Respect the mother. Love Gaia. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I told you, you know, you've been divided for a reason. And the 5th world is all about unification and queen stepping up, king stepping up. And that's where we're heading to. And that's the good news. You know, great things are happening right now on the planet. Tremendous things. One of the things we've got to remind ourselves of, deep divers, is because so much has happened, a lot of people, in fact, let me hold it there. Let's take a short break, deep divers. Let me hold it there. Hit that like button, because we've been going in. Hit that like button, share the video. And let's raise the frequency.
How do I deal with what I'm feeling? Maybe I just don't. What you're doing, I'm in ruins, all alone. I'm all alone. And I know nothing to do helps me forget about you. You just came out of the blue. If you only knew. Didn't have a cup of coffee. Let's go to a restaurant. Go to a field, pick up some strawberries. Down.
We gotta raise it higher than that, deep divers. Let's go 80s. I'm so happy. The whole world is just beginning. We already won. It's about us all. So many beautiful deep divers here. One love to you beautiful deep divers. Raising the frequency. Raising the vibration. Yeah, I'm so happy. It's a choice. Raising the frequency. Yeah, I'm so happy to manifest whatever you want, to be whatever you want to be. It's a choice. Freedom is a must. We have to become the spoon. We got to become the spoon. Shout out to everyone who's here. Everybody who's diving deep. Once again, deep divers, hit that like button, share the video, hit that super chat, and, let's really remind ourselves of what the fifth dimension is. Shout out to Chaos Steve. You are appreciated, brother.
We live in a society where people hate their jobs. Media and wrong nutrition take away our faith in God. They changing our thoughts, how can you say this ain't a plot? And if we don't react, we can expect that our brains will rot. See, every one of us got a purpose, now go and find it. Actually, you don't have to look for it if you're open-minded. Everything's connected, but the way we live is so divided. I'm just trying to enlighten you, cause the human folk is blinded. Your thoughts are responsible for how you perceive your life. Humans got different opinions, so do what you believe is right. Religions were invented to control and to make people fight. Why should I go to church? I just talk to I'm God if I need advice. Fuck the separation, we're supposed to be a unity. Too many shady intentions, no one cares about you and me. I became suspicious, don't even eat the food I used to eat. Don't get manipulated and be careful what you choose to be. People always tell you what you can, but it's wrong. You should never really give a damn if you're strong. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. No matter what they say, hold on to your dream, cause anything is possible as long as you breathe. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Look, if you wanna achieve something, you don't need massive luck. If it's something you really want, then all you need to have is guts. Your subconscious mind and thoughts are shaping your reality, so own it yourself if you ain't satisfied with your salary. See, everything you do should be done with enthusiasm. Love is important too, and do never ever lose your passion. Enjoy the moment and stay away from things you can't control, and focus on the news if you really want to expand your soul. They only show us all the negative things that happen now. The problem we have is the false knowledge that's getting passed around. All these people who control the world are really selfish beasts, making us insecure and taking away our self-esteem. I'm the only person I know who questions his existence. Maybe it's my purpose to spread the truth with explicit wisdom. I will be glad if I could make this planet a better place. And if you got the same intention, then you shouldn't hesitate. People always tell you what you can, but it's wrong. You should never really give a damn if you're strong. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. No matter what they say, hold on to your dream, cause anything is possible as long as you breathe. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart.
This whole song is slow motion, absolutely.
Start to live in harmony and stop to live in doubt and fear. Find a reason to smile instead of drowning in 1,000 tears. Ask your heart for advice so you won't regret your chosen path. Everybody needs motivation, you can't be too old for that. Showing gratitude is necessary for your future goals. You need to learn from your losses, but you should never lose your hope. Satan was created by humans to make us feel afraid. They're trying to confuse us so we don't even know what's real and fake. Listen closely to your heart so no one can control your mind. Don't believe everything just cause you hear it from an older guy. Don't get me wrong, I don't say that everything you've been told's a lie, but there are a lot of people who wanna say your soul is mine. You gotta protect it, ensure that your heart is guiding you. If you follow your intuition, it's easy to find the truth. Don't let your ego hinder you from living your life in peace. So you will never reach your full potential if your mind is weak. People always tell you what you can, but it's wrong. You should never.
Let me shout out to Chaos Steve, right? Chaos Steve. Listen to your heart. Powerful song, powerful song. And you know, one of the things, deep divers, the big change is coming. A new fifth dimensional world is here. The Hopis were right. We got a lot to talk about, deep divers. The Hopi prophecy: when the earth is ravaged and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people shall come onto the earth from many colors, creeds, classes, and who by their actions and deeds shall make the earth green again. They will be known as warriors of the rainbow. And first of all, I want to say a shout out to everybody. Shout out to everyone. Round of applause, please. Round of applause, please. Keep clapping. Keep clapping. Keep clapping. Keep clapping. Louder. A huge round of applause to everybody, all the light workers, all the chosen ones, all the people who've been helping other people wake up along this journey, spreading information, because you are the ones who have really brought about this fifth world, brought about this fifth dimension. It's so easy to dumb yourself down. And why I played Chaos Steve is because, you see, the time we're living in right now, this fifth dimensional world, this fifth world, this birth of a new earth, it's a choice. You can move to the new earth if you've done the work. Otherwise, you're going to stay in the 3D. And that's going to be the prison. The old earth is always going to be around, and it's going to be the prison for a lot of people. A lot of souls are going to be trapped due to a lack of ignorance. You know, I want to say to all the people, and there are a lot of people out there who have made the right choice of elevation. They could have chosen something of a low frequency, a low vibration. They could have chosen to dumb people down. They could have chosen to sell their soul. They could have chosen to go on the wrong path. But they chose to do what was right in their heart. That is phenomenal. They chose to do what was right in their heart. And this is huge because we got to remind ourselves shout out to everyone who's here, everyone who's diving deep. We just started Deep Divers, getting it started. Let me shout out to the Quantum Traveler. You are appreciated. The Quantum Traveler. Shout out to the Quantum Traveler. The Great Reset versus the Great Renaissance. Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to you. So they could have chosen. I could have chosen. Let me talk about myself. I could have chosen because, like I told you, I lived in Hollywood for a long time. Lived in LA for a long time. But I was approached in Santa Monica by an agent who had seen my videos, who said, Infinite Waters is fantastic. We love what you're doing. We want to turn you into the biggest, almost like an Oprah thing. And it was a TV show they wanted me to be a part of. It was fantastic. Everything was great. But there was a but. I had to read the contract. And the contract was, okay, if you sign this contract, we can give you millions of dollars, but you can't really continue doing what you're doing. In other words, we will own you. And I had to say no. But you see, a lot of people say yes. A lot of people will do it. A lot of people will do it. Like Kanye West said, I sold my soul to the devil. I sold my soul to the devil for a crappy deal. At least it came with a few toys like a Happy Meal. But there are those who refuse. They have integrity, like Ralph Smart and other people. They have integrity. And that's the most important thing. Integrity is the most important thing. You want to stand on something. Even on YouTube, a lot of people, even on TikTok, a lot of people are doing things just for attention. And whenever you do something just for attention, you're living in a prison. Whenever you do things just for the sake of doing things because you want people to notice you, it leads you down a very destructive path. I don't blame you. I don't blame you because I'm a psychologist. I know the psychology. People want to get heard. They want to be loved. They want to be seen. They want to be a star. But you got to remind yourself, there's a reason why Ralph Smart is still here. Because Ralph Smart built. Eric, you are appreciated. Let me shout out to Eric because, you know, Eric is always supporting the show. And like I say, it doesn't matter what you give to Infinite Waters. Every support is appreciated. And I got to say a shout out to Eric because, you know, Eric is somebody who's always supporting the show. Eric, you are appreciated. Shout out to you. Ralph, a DJ, saved my life today. Shout out to you, Eric. You are appreciated. So, I don't blame you. You know, a lot of people will do things because they think that's the only way. And it's very difficult. That's the thing. You see, for instance, on YouTube, to have a channel about becoming your greatest version, strictly, and to get over 1 million subscribers is extremely difficult. Let me repeat that. On YouTube, to have a channel about becoming your greatest version and get over 1 million subscribers is extremely difficult. Why is it difficult? Because most people don't want to self-improve. Most people want to remain ignorant. Right? Most people don't want to improve. They want to stay where they are. They don't want to grow. They don't want to elevate. They want to stay with the bad habits. So most people aren't going to listen. Most people don't want to hear that. They say, I don't want to hear that stuff. I just want to entertain myself. People only want entertainment. So the question you have to ask yourself is, how on earth did Ralph Smart get over 2 million subscribers on YouTube and millions more on the website? I'm asking you that question, deep divers. Put it in the chat. How on earth did Ralph Smart hack the algorithm and get millions of subscribers on YouTube and on his website, ralphsmart.com? How did Ralph Smart do it? Because it's damn near impossible. Some people say consistency. Some people say unconditional love. Truth is winning, staying real. You wasn't complacent, that's for certain. Ralph's a pretty special guy. Oh, I appreciate that. Manifesting, law of attraction, doing a little samba, baby. Right? Power inside of you. Absolutely. That's what it's always about. Generating gratitude. Yes. Third eye power. Yes. Absolutely. Was aligned to unified consciousness. Yeah. You put in the work. Well, there are people who have also put in the work, but they don't see the results. How I was able to inspire millions of people, I'll tell you, is because I said, I'm not going to do what's easy. I'm going to do what's hard, and it's going to work out for me. In other words, I took the long route. I took the long road because I realized it was a marathon. I realized that, because you see, this is a secret, deep divers. Listen, most people, like on TikTok, they want to do what everyone else is doing, kind of just distract you and do a whole load of nonsense. But where's the message? Where's the message? When you had people like Vitali and all of these people, and who else was big? Shane Dawson, Jenna Marbles. I was in a time on YouTube where it wasn't really cool to talk about becoming your greatest version. I'm off the golden era of YouTube where you had people like PewDiePie, you had Jenna Marbles, you had Shane Dawson, you had Mr. Beast wasn't even around that time. He was counting numbers. You had you had a few other people, but everybody on YouTube, they were doing videos to entertain you only, to kind of get the most views, right? They were doing pranks and they were going viral. They were doing good, right? But I realized that there's something missing on YouTube. Knowledge. And this is a secret in life, because if you can find what's missing, you can grow. Like, for instance, let me shout out to everyone who's here. Deep diver, you are appreciated. Hit that like button, deep divers. I want everybody right now, hit that like button. I want everybody right now to hit that like button, share the video. I want everybody right now to hit that like button and share the video. I want everybody right now to hit that like button and share this video. Let's get this into the algorithm. I just put out a video, deep divers, but I said, let me go live, right? I want to talk to deep divers in live time. Deep divers, And here's a deep diver. If January and February aren't a part of the original calendar, are people born in those months really Capricorn and Aquarius? We're going to talk about that. Great question. We'll talk about that in a second. But I saw what was missing. And I realized that knowledge is missing on YouTube. I realized that people don't love themselves. They don't accept themselves. They're trying to be someone else. Playing a character can get you in trouble. Playing a character can get you in trouble. A lot of people from back in the day, they stopped making YouTube videos. Jenna Marbles quit. Shane Dawson no longer here. All of these big YouTubers, they stopped because you see, what happened is that, with all of this censorship, YouTube changed. And a lot of people couldn't do those kind of videos anymore. Everything became so politically correct, right? So a lot of people, they could no longer play that character. That's why they stopped creating videos. The lesson is the people who stay true to themselves are still here. I saw a lot of people come and go, deep divers. People say, Ralph, you look 17. I look younger now than I did 10 years ago. I'm reverse aging. Why? Because I chose the right path. But I was tempted as well. I'm like, hey, let me do some pranks. Let me do some dumb stuff. Let me just do some things for clout. But all of that leads to destruction. All of that leads to the wrong path. If you're not doing something that's true to your soul and heart, you will only end up depressed and miserable. And that's the reason why I'm not here to entertain you. I'm a messenger giving you the message. At the same time, I still have fun. I still entertain you. We still have fun. But there's a message. I played Chaos Steve, Listen to Your Heart, because the reason why that song is so powerful is because you don't hear music like that. A lot of people say, gosh, Ralph, who made that song? The reason why people are so amazed is because on the radio, you don't hear music like that. You don't hear music with such a powerful message like that. You don't hear any substance in the music. You got Cardi B, WAP, all of these songs, entertainment. I'm not hating, but you got to remind yourself, your sons are listening to that. And it ain't going to help them evolve into a better human being. It's going to put nonsense in their mind. So you got to remind yourself, to all of the people who chose the path of righteousness, who chose the higher path, the higher road, I want you to remind yourself, you did the most amazing thing ever. You did something that's going to make people go like this, deep divers. I've mentored a lot of people behind the scenes, right? I've mentored a lot of big people, famous influencers and whatnot. And, in private talks and private discussions, they said, Ralph, how are you able to do this? How are you able to do this? How are you able to get this message to the mainstream? And you are becoming more popular than anyone else. And I said, I believe in myself. I'm here to be the glitch in the matrix. I'm here to be the glitch in the matrix. And that's what I always encourage you deep divers to do. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. In fact, if you can do something different, you're going to create a whole lane for yourself. I realized that on YouTube, there was no information hardly about becoming your greatest version. So when I started to make these videos, I was getting like 1 million views a video. I got a video, how to stop absorbing other people's energy, millions of views. And the reason is because people were hungry for this information, because everything else on YouTube was just distracting them. And that's the same thing that's going to happen with TikTok. TikTok is kind of new, right? So people right now on the algorithm of TikTok are kind of just trying to be funny and do things for clout. But all of that's going to come to an end, because you see, if it's not in alignment with the truth, if it's not helping you evolve, it's a distraction. Let me repeat that. If it's not helping you evolve, it's a distraction. Let me repeat it one more time. If it's not helping you evolve, it's a distraction. And a lot of people right now are starting to wake up. A lot of people right now are saying, you know what? The truth can win. You know what? Positivity can win. And there are great creators out there who have made positivity go viral. There are great creators out there who have made a positive message go viral. And that's what you have to do. Because this is how you change reality. Because the inorganic ones always want violence to go viral, some dumb stuff to go viral. They don't want knowledge to go viral. They don't want positivity to go viral. But you see, a lot of people have outsmarted the matrix. They've made positivity go viral. They've made a great message go viral. And all of those people who are doing that, clap for yourself. Clap for yourself, right? So remind yourself, deep divers, you know, part of this new wave is realizing you can be an exception to the rule. Hit that like button, deep divers, share the video. Hit that like button, deep divers, share the video. We got a lot to talk about. Valentina, you are appreciated. Can you talk more about that there is a chosen one in every family? You mention it sometimes. I scapegoated my whole life. You appreciated. You are appreciated, Ralph. I can do that. But there was a question before that. There was a question before that, right? So this question, I got to do a whole video on this topic because this one is a great question. You know, if January and February aren't a part of the original calendar, are people born in those months really Capricorn or Aquarius? Great question. Great question. You got to remind yourself that in the Louvre Museum in France, one of the oldest zodiacs exists called Temple of Dendera, right? The Zodiac of Dendera. And I've got to do a whole nother video on the Zodiac, how it is so important. When we talk about star signs, right? Now, I'll ask you this, deep divers. Do you feel that star signs are accurate? Do you feel that like Leos or Pisces or Capricorns or Aquarius are kind of similar to what they say about them? Do you think that? There's a reason why star signs are in mainstream conversation. Because, like I told you, millionaires don't study astrology. Billionaires do. And star signs are extremely accurate. Because people who are born in a specific time of the year have similar traits. This is a fact. Aries, full of themselves, confident, a go-getter, right? Cancers, very soft and very kind and very caring. I know a lot of Cancers, and they are all some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. They'll help anyone. Pisces are the healers of the zodiac. Everybody born in that March period, February 27th, March 21st, they work in the field of health. They're nurses, doctors, physiotherapists, Reiki masters. I'm a Pisces, and there's a reason why I'm a healer. We know Scorpios, right? Scorpios are the shamans of the zodiac. In Peru, all of the shamans, they would always be Pisces or Scorpio. This was not an accident or a coincidence. Is that people who are Scorpio, they're always diving deep. They're the detectives of the zodiac. They are the detectives of the zodiac, and they are highly awake a lot of the times into decoding the matrix. So all of these star signs, right? Sagittarius, we can go into that, Leos, we can go into that fiery energy. So you can see these traits. If you know a lot of people, you see these similarities. So it doesn't matter if January or February aren't a part of the original calendar. You got to remind yourself that it's when people were born, the time period. And people who are born at a specific time of the year have certain personality traits. We can see this. If it didn't matter, people would not be talking about zodiac star signs till this day. It matters because people are still talking about it. And that's the reason why it matters. So, like I say, the period that you were born in matters. The time you were born matters. I got to dive into that even more. Hit that like button, deep diver, share the video. Shout out to everyone who's here. And I'm reading every super chat, deep divers. LA, you are appreciated. Shout out to LA in the house. You are appreciated. Ralph, you saved my life many times. Thank you. I am Ethiopian. Did you know that the Ethiopian calendar has 13 months? It's 2014 now, and 9/11 is New Year. Woo! Yep, I did. And I've been to Ethiopia. And beautiful place. I had some injera. Have you tried injera, deep divers? Beautiful. Tasty meal, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's actually 2014 now in the Ethiopian calendar, right? And that's why you got to really remind yourself there are different calendars in existence. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Country Kid Thangs, you are appreciated. Shout out to you. We have Boost Radio now, lots of high frequency music. I am so grateful to have an alternative here in St. Louis. You are appreciated. Shout out to you. Go and check out Country Kid Thangs. You are appreciated, brother and sister. Shout out to all of you, both of you. Thank you for your generous support of Infinite Waters. Heal thyself. You are appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are appreciated. So, we've got to remind ourselves a big change is coming. A new fifth dimensional world is here, and it ties into the Hopi prophecy. When the earth is ravaged and the animals are dying, A new tribe of people shall come onto the earth from many colors, classes, creeds, and who by their actions and deeds shall make the earth green again. They will be known as the warriors of the rainbow. And it goes on to say, the Hopi prophecy on the fifth world. The Hopis believe that humankind periodically passes through great epochal cycles or worlds. Their prophecies suggest that we are about to enter the fifth world. We Hopi believe that the human race has passed through 3 different worlds and life ways since the beginning. At the end of each prior world, human life has been purified or punished by the Great Spirit or Masu, due mainly to corruption, greed, and turning away from the Great Spirit's teachings. The last great destruction was the flood. The Hopi prophecy talks of us having 4 worlds, with a 5th world about to emerge from the ashes of the 4th. Right? So that is huge. That is huge. Shout out to everyone who's here. Let me tell you about this, deep divers, okay? Because I wanted to talk to you about this. The 5th world, the 5th dimension is not for everyone. Many are called, few are chosen, and not everyone is going to get there. A lot of people are going to be living in the metaverse. A lot of people are going to be living in the AI world. I broke down that film, Megan. Now, I told you, Megan wasn't a film, it was a documentary as well. And that film, Megan, of this AI doll, is not a film, it's already here. And that's the future for a lot of people in the Matrix. You're going to have, it's already here as well. Your iPhone is paired to you. And when Elon Musk said you're already a cyborg, he wasn't joking. And with the quickening, everything is speeding up, meaning artificial intelligence is becoming more intelligent. The singularity, which is where artificial intelligence supersedes human intellect, by Ray Kurzweil, the director of engineering at Google, was predicted by 2045 to come into existence. Many people said before then by 2030. So this time we're living in is going to be a huge split where a lot of people will become androids. A lot of people will become humanoids. It's inevitable. A lot of people will fuse with the machine. At the same time, there will be the originals. There will be the chosen ones. There will be the light workers who remember who they are. At the same time, many people will not be human anymore. And that's the reason why it's a powerful time we're living in right now. Let's raise the frequency, deep divers. I want everybody to hit that like button. I can play some classical music if you want, deep divers. Raise the frequency a bit. Let me play some classical, some soul. Let's raise the frequency. Some reggae. And if you notice, deep divers, someone once said, let me shout out to Laval Nichols. You are appreciated. Thank you. Laval Nichols, you are most definitely appreciated. Thank you. Hit that like button, deep divers. Share the video. Hit that like button. Share the video. So if you've noticed, there aren't places where you have a lot of calm music around cities. But wouldn't that reduce the stress? Ever wondered that? Ever wondered that? Why they don't put calm music around the place? And you've got to remind yourself, because music is energy. And this is what the Hopis knew about. That there's only energy, frequency, and vibration. And if you play the right music, you can literally create entire universes. And there's a reason why classical music is not part of the mainstream billboards regularly, because people start listening to that, they start feeling calmer, start going to that higher frequency. It changes your DNA. And if you don't believe me, just watch this. Listen to this. Hit that like button, deep divers. I want everybody here right now, hit that like button, share the video. So I'll play some classical music. And this is a very powerful piece. Listen to this. You're going to go to a different world, right? That's why I was telling you. I listen to all kinds of music, but when you remind yourself, music is energy. And if you learn sound therapy, you can change your entire life. Listen to this, deep divers. right, deep divers. You went, tell me the truth, deep divers. Did you transport somewhere else? Did you teleport somewhere else? Tell me the truth. I was already zoning out just now. See, that's the power of music. I was already zoning. I was somewhere else right now. Because when you learn about these frequencies, there's a reason why music like that, you're not going to hear it on the radio 24/7, because that music, the elites listen to that kind of music, right? The elites listen to that music because that's the music that raises your frequency. As well, people like Bob Marley, that's the same music as well that raises your frequency. Music like that elevates you. So just by me playing that, were you transported or were you transported, deep divers? A lot of people was just relaxing. What came into your mind? A lot of people said, I wanted to focus on my breathing. Brian, thank you so much. Thanks, Ralph. It's a blessing to have a video. Shout out to Brian. You are appreciated. Let me shout out to Brian. Thank you so much, Brian. Shout out to everyone who's here, deep divers, everybody who's diving deep. Brian, thanks, Ralph. It's a blessing to have a video from you every day. I appreciate you, Brian. And I'm so happy to share with you every single day. Like I said, it's a gift, you know. So a lot of people were transported just then by that music. They wanted to focus on their breathing. They were feeling calmer. You didn't feel so tense. You feel relaxed. So that's the reason why I had to learn about classical music, because there's a reason why when you listen to certain music, classical music, you feel a certain way, because music is energy. But a lot of the mainstream music is not on that same frequency. So that's the reason why I always tell you, tap into different music. Tap into different music, because that's the secret to moving into the fifth dimension as well. You got to remind yourself that I'm a producer. Whenever you loop something, it's a form of mind control. When you loop something, it's a form of mind control. Prince said they call it a hit for a reason. Prince said they call it a hit for a reason. Shout out to everyone who's here. Let me shout out to everyone who's here. Let me read some comments. Deep divers, Michael Jordan. Shout out to you. Hi, Ralph. I love your channel. My born day is June 13, 1970. Is that a good day and time to come to be on this earth? Like I always say, it's always a good time when you make it to be. You can change anything to work in your favor. Doesn't matter when you were born. You have free will, and you can always become the architect of your own reality. Shout out to everyone who's here. Hit that like button, deep divers. Hit that like button, deep divers. Share the video. Reading every single super chat. Nomad, you are appreciated. Shout out to Nomad. Respect, peace, and understanding. Thank you, Ralph. Random song recommend for all. Ain't No Man by the Ever Brothers. I'm gonna listen to that afterwards. I'm gonna listen to that afterwards, most definitely. Right? Ain't No Man, the Ever Brothers. I'm gonna listen to that song. I know it's gonna be elevating if you chose it for me. You chose it for us deep divers. Okay. Let me shout out to the wonderful Selena Marto. You are appreciated. When living from our hearts and have our first eye wide open, senses get heightened, incredible, learning about our DNA, amazing. Absolutely. Absolutely. When living from our hearts and we have our first eye wide open, senses get heightened, incredible, learning about our DNA, amazing. And that's what it's all about. So, you know, a lot of people right now, their first eye is open. Right here. When you remind yourself your third eye has rods and cones, photoreceptors. And that's the reason why in reptiles, the pineal gland, when scientists looked inside, it had photoreceptors. It wasn't too long ago they thought the pineal gland was just an inactive gland, an inactive dormant gland. They now realize that it secretes melatonin. But the pineal gland, the ancients spoke about it as the first eye. And like Selena is saying, once that is wide open, senses get heightened. And that is the doorway to this fifth dimension, this new world that we're all entering. Like I said, music is so powerful. And we've got to remind ourselves, like right now, humanity is in a big battle. Big battle. You don't want to get caught in the middle. Big battle happening on the planet. Because it always happens at the end of every age. That's the reason why you see what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. You see all of these things. And that's the reason why you want to get right with yourself. You want to protect your energy. You want to make sure you're in your heart space. We want to make sure we're living from our hearts, like the great Selena said, because that is our ticket to the next level. The ego is a trap. You know, humanity lived in the ego for so long that the ego consumed humanity. Let me repeat that. Humanity lived in the ego for so long that the ego is now consuming humanity. Humanity lived in its ego for so long. Now the ego is consuming humanity. And everything you see around you is a symptom. Breakdown of school systems, pandemic, wars, economic collapse, men and women dysfunctional relationships. This is the signs of the times that the old world, which is the ego world, is no longer functioning. It's over. And you can choose to stay in it, but you're only going to get what you've always got. Or you can choose to elevate and go to the next level. And this is the reason why that Hopi prophecy, when the earth is ravaged and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people shall come onto the earth from many colors, classes, creeds, and who by their actions and deeds shall make the earth green again. They will be known as warriors of the rainbow. Now, one of these days, let me shout out to the real king in the house. When you remind yourself, deep divers, you saw what happened to Kanye West. You saw how he was kind of silenced. Let me shout out to everyone who's here. But I told you, Kanye West made a mistake. Kanye West fell into the separation trap. And I told you, ego will only lead you to disaster. You got to remind yourself, deep divers, you need a higher perspective to navigate through this matrix. Let me shout out to the real king. You are appreciated. Shout out to the real king. Kanye West made a mistake because he fell into the ego trap. He fell into the separation trap. Got to remind yourself that the people humanity is in a state of spiritual warfare. It's not about Christians, Muslims, Jews. It's not about any of that. We're talking about on a whole different level. And only if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you know what I'm talking about. You can be Christian, you can be Muslim, you can be Jewish. Practice your faith. Those people aren't your enemy. Got to remind yourself that inorganic ones have placed you against each other. They got you hating each other. They got you separated. So you don't want to say you hate a group of people, because if you do, you've fallen into the trap. You don't want to hate anything, because when you hate something, you are living in the illusion. Talk about what you love. That's all you got to focus on. Don't focus on what you hate. Focus on what you love. Don't attack what you hate. Promote what you love. It's way bigger than the groups that you see before you. Way bigger. You don't even realize how deep it goes. You don't even realize how deep the rabbit hole goes. You're still arguing about this and that, not realizing you're sheep. Because we are in interdimensional warfare, interplanetary warfare. What do you think Star Wars was all about? What do you think Star Wars was all about? They're telling you in the movies. There are stars at war with each other. Right? So you got to remind yourself, you may not believe in any of this stuff, but they do. Because they know what time it is. They know what time it is. I used to watch Star Trek and realize that they were trying to tell you something in Star Trek. James Kirk, unifying perspectives. You are appreciated. Grateful for the many years of support, Ralph. Always excited to connect. You are most definitely appreciated. Thank you so much. Right? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're so kind. Shout out to you. You are appreciated. Michael Williams, shout out to you. Karma is only in 3D. It's not in higher dimensions. Shout out to you. You are appreciated. Jamal, you are appreciated. Jamal Diwa, shout out to you. What do you feel about Egypt's reaction to saying that the ancient Egyptians are black? Comment made by Kevin Hart. Shout out to you. Got to remind yourself that Egypt is in Africa. And there are old kingdoms of Egypt and new kingdoms. In Egypt, in the old kingdoms, people were melanated. That's a fact. And the old kingdom, the Nile goes through Sudan. Now, I've been to Egypt many times, been to the pyramids. In Sudan, you actually have more pyramids than Egypt. So in Sudan, there was empires called Kush, right? You got to remind yourself that Egypt got a lot of the knowledge from Sudan. Many people from Sudan moved to Egypt. In the Old Kingdom, they built the pyramids and all of these things. But Egypt is also near the Middle East, right? So people moved in. Alexander the Great came into Egypt. So Egypt became like a modern day Dubai, right? It became very cosmopolitan. So you had many different colors in Egypt. So it changed. There were black people, mixed race people, fair-skinned people, all kinds of people, even a cat down the road. That's why cats were all over Egypt. But the Old Kingdom was predominantly melanated. But the New Kingdom, you had Cleopatra, you had a lot of people coming in. You had the Hyksos coming into Egypt. People coming in, invaders coming in. So it changed the whole, everything was changed. You know, you had many different people there. So it was a very mixed place. But that's a great question. What do you think about that, deep dives? And like I told you, you know, one of the biggest things as well is because, you know, part of this Hopi prophecy is about this. You know, when the earth is ravaged and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people shall come onto the earth from many colors, classes, and creeds, and who by their actions and deeds shall make the earth green again. They will be known as the warriors of the rainbow. So we've got to remind ourselves, once again, I used to be known as Kemet Prince 1, right? I used to be known as Kemet Prince 1. Kemet is the name of Egypt. But I realized that by me naming myself Kemet Prince 1, I was putting myself into a box. Why do you think that was? Why do you think, deep divers, I was putting myself into a box? Because the manifestation happened for me when I changed my whole name. I became immortal. What is Ralph Smart talking about? Put it in the chat, deep divers. Shout out to everyone who's here. Everyone who's diving deep. Because I found out the secret. I was almost going to get caught in the trap. Then I said, ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah. And thank you. Right? So that was it. I believe we're all the same. I don't see colors. We all bleed the same. Absolutely. Absolutely. You see, deep divers, this channel, the username was, once upon a time, it was just Kemet Prince, right? Which is the Egypt Prince, right? And that was the name I was going by. But I realized it was a trap. And the reason why is because I realized that I was falling into the same trap as Kanye West. I had to go global. Had to realize that you got to be smarter than that. And I was. Because I realized that we're all connected. Doesn't matter the color of your skin, where you're from, because this is about consciousness. And there are people all over the world who get it, who can see, who are awake, who know what time it is. We are one consciousness. We are one consciousness. And that's the reason why Infinite Waters has people from all over the world. That's why I said it's Infinite Waters. Water, most powerful element on the planet. We are water. We're surrounded by water. Water holds the secret of life. Everything is water. So when you remind yourself that you want to always see, don't get caught up in the separation. Don't get caught up in the illusions, because there are people who have come back, incarnated in different bodies from different countries, but they have a high level of consciousness. They might have been born in France, Bulgaria, Ethiopia, South Africa, Egypt, Cameroon, China, doesn't matter. But they have a consciousness which is very high because they chose to incarnate in that body just to fulfill a certain mission. So we've got to remind ourselves how multidimensional this is. And when you start to open your eyes, you realize that, oh, you don't want to get caught up in the trap. There's a reason why Palestine and Israel are going at it. Russia and Ukraine are going at it, because separation breeds war. Unity is the truth, and that breeds peace. Right? So it is amazing when you start to wake up to all of these realities. Great things happen. You know, great question. Nell, you are appreciated. Do you think mental illness like schizophrenia is really an illness or a spiritual attack? My boyfriend is, and I've seen many things that make me question it all. You got to remind yourself, deep divers, that so many people are diagnosed with things in this world, in this system. And it's because people don't understand the nature of everything. And you've got to remind yourself that people label what they don't understand. People label what they don't understand. You know, I'm a psychologist, and I used to work in a school. I used to work with autistic children. I used to work with children with ADHD. And by me working with people with autism, ADHD, in the classroom, I realized that autistic children have a gift. In fact, they are highly awake because they are in their own world. They don't want to fit into your world. People with ADHD, which means attention dialed into higher dimensions, he can't sit still. She can't sit still. They're hyperactive. They don't want to hear that nonsense. They're intelligent. People with schizophrenia, the split mind, once again, in ancient cultures, that didn't even exist. But in today's world, like I say, how this expresses itself is that a lot of people are in between worlds. For instance, if I go to work in a mainstream job in New York City and start talking about spirits and this and that, people might say he's schizophrenic or he's got a split mind. If I start talking to myself in the streets, people might say he's mad. If you start talking to yourself in the streets, they might say she's mad. But once upon a time, people would talk to themselves, and people still do. It's called praying, chanting, affirming. Question is, are you in the right environment to do that, where you are accepted? And that's why I always tell you, you can't serve two masters. Because people they label with schizophrenia could be the geniuses and are the geniuses. But if you're not in an environment which appreciates that, they'll say you've got a problem. So it's all about, I always say, how does the saying go? Those who could not hear the music those seen dancing were thought to be crazy by those who could not hear the music. Have you heard that saying, deep divers? Those that were seen dancing were seen to be crazy by those who could not hear the music. And that's exactly what's happening with all of these disorders. A lot of people can't hear the music. And that's the reason why you have to have a community, you have to have support, you have to be in the right environment, because you can't be in both worlds. You got to choose. If you're in the matrix, stay there. But if you really want to dive deep, you got to choose that path, and people will embrace you. But if you're trying to talk to people about spirits at work, they might say, hey, this person is ill. They got a mental disorder. The reason is because it's the wrong environment for that. You don't go into the matrix trying to wake people up at work. They're there for a reason. Do your job. You got to come out of that and live your truth. And that's the reason why I always tell you, you can't serve two masters. You can't go to your everyday matrix job trying to awaken people, telling them about this and that. They're going to say you're crazy. And it's because they don't get you. Wrong environment. You're supposed to be a pioneer. You're supposed to be living the truth. So they are inspired. But you can't go back to them trying to say, hey, look at this, look at that. Because they'll say, what on earth are you talking about? You'll only get respect if you are in the right path you're supposed to be in. And this is the big secret. If Picasso was drawing art at his work, people might think, that's so stupid. What on earth are you doing? If Leonardo da Vinci was drawing the Mona Lisa around people who didn't want to see that, they wouldn't appreciate it. But it's the most expensive painting in the world, over $1 billion, because it's a work of genius. But Leonardo da Vinci had to remind himself who he was. And you have to remind yourself who you are, that you're different. You got a gift. And you don't cast pearls at swine. You don't cast pearls at swine. You don't cast pearls at swine. You got to remind yourself you're different. You got a gift. And one day people are going to see that gift and they're going to honor it. They're going to say, oh, you're a genius. Right? Picasso, Dr. Sabi, all of these people, very different. But that's the reason why we call them geniuses. So that was a, great question great question to dive into. Shout out to everybody who's here. Rodrigo, you are appreciated. Shout out to you. Rodrigo MX9629 as an aspiring writer to a best-selling author, how do you feel about Chat GTP, which can write anything you ask it, from essays to poetry. Ooh. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know, one of the things you got to remind yourself that they're trying to replace you with the AI, with the artificial intelligence. You know, learn the old fashioned way, because when the system breaks down, you'll be okay. A lot of people are lazy. A lot of people don't even know how to handwrite because many people have lost those skills. And once upon a time, people would write letters. Once upon a time, people could do calligraphy. Nowadays, people haven't even written a letter in the last year. They haven't even written something down with a pen. So people are losing these basic skills. And that's the reason why you want to still cultivate it. You still want to practice learning an instrument, because even in the music world, you can do everything with plugins, virtual instruments. But this is all dumbing you down. You can't beat a real instrument. Just like you can't beat a real author writing from their heart. Chat GTP can't do it. Shout out to everyone who's here. Deep divers, hit that like button. I want everybody to hit that like button, share the video. And, you know, it feels so good to be alive right now. So many wonderful deep divers who are here. Shout out to you, Brad. You are appreciated. Thank you for being you, Ralph, helping and awakening the humanity. This is a gift for you. By the way, cats are the best. Hey, you are appreciated. So a big change is coming. A new fifth dimensional world is here. The Hopis were right. And like I said, with the Hopi prophecy on the fifth world, the Hopis believed that humankind periodically passes through great epochal cycles or worlds. Their prophecy suggests that we are about to enter the fifth world. We Hopi believe that the human race has passed through 3 different worlds and life ways since the beginning. At the end of each prior world, human life has been purified or punished by the Great Spirit or Masu, due mainly to corruption, greed, and turning away from the Great Spirit's teaching. The last great destruction was the flood. The Hopi prophecy talks of us having 4 worlds, with a 5th world about to emerge from the ashes of the 4th, right? So this is huge, huge, because the Hopis knew something. In Arizona, you know, so much great energy in Arizona. And, you know, the Hopis were around that area. And they knew a lot because they were connected to the Great Mother. Humanity is awakening, and that's the good news. And it's only going to grow more, because right now people are beginning to see the writing on the wall. People are beginning to become unfulfilled by the life they're living. I told you, like, during a quickening, with everything accelerating and the new information on the planet, what once used to make you entertained is no longer entertaining you in the same way, because you have new information. You now know who you are. A spiritual being having a human experience. You now know all of this. So what, you know, those music videos that you used to be so entertained by, you can see right through it. You know it's all fake. You know, even in the media, you're not believing it like you used to believe it. And this is all because you are waking up. And that's why I told you during this time, everyone is changing because people are outgrowing. They're outgrowing everything around them. Once upon a time, you could just watch. Now, you've got something called critical thinking. That's switched on in a lot of people. They're no longer blindly believing everything. And this is the reason why we are entering the fifth world. And this is the reason why I told you it's an amazing time to be alive right now, because anything I can say or you can say or anybody can say to stop it. It's inevitable that the Great Awakening is only going to grow more. And that's the good news. At the same time, at your highest moment, that's when the devil comes. That's the metaphor. So as this awakening is growing, there are also more distractions happening. It's not an accident that TikTok is huge, right? This app, which a lot of people use just to distract you. But don't blame TikTok, because you can use TikTok to wake up people. Right? You can use TikTok to spread a message, but you got to be smart. And that's how to hack the algorithm. But remind yourself, just as people are waking up, there are going to be more distractions to keep you asleep. So now you have to be very strong to resist the temptation of falling back to sleep, because now that's the whole game. Now you're waking up. They want to put you back to sleep. They want to make you turn into Cypher, who says, you know what? I want to go back into the Matrix. You know, Cypher in the Matrix said, you know what? I know this is all fake, but I want to go back into it. That's what they want to do to you. They want to make you go back into the unawakened state. And that's the reason why you've got to stay open. Your eyes have to stay open. You got to stay awake. What did Nas say? I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. What Nas was saying was, you want to keep your third eye open. Because if it's not open, that's when you die. When your eye is not open, your first eye is not open, when you go back to sleep, anybody can do anything they want to you. Hit that like button, deep divers. I'm going in. Hit that like button, subscribe, share the video. Hit that like button right now. Let me say a big thank you to everybody who's here. Ocean 1111, thank you so much. Much love from a Gemini, Peruvian born, living in the Sunshine State. Thank you for your guidance. Having a bit of a hard time getting around unwoken people, especially my family. Love my life, and the transformation rebirth is amazing. Love you. Shout out to you. Remind yourself that, you know, the family is a test. A lot of people are born into families where you're the only one who gets it. You're the only one who's awake. And you've got to remind yourself, if you're around a lot of people who are fast asleep, the best thing you can do is surround yourself with people just like you. Don't try and change people who don't want to be changed. Pardon? Don't try and change people who aren't ready. Pardon? Don't try and change people who are fast asleep. They'll kill you. You got to remind yourself that when you are around a lot of people who are just plugged into the matrix, say that's cool. Don't try and change them. Just remind yourself to remove yourself from that environment. That's problem solved. You can't change anybody until they're ready to change themselves. So you have to find like minds. That's all you've got to do. Don't have a go at the unawakened people, because they're not ready yet. Their time will come, but it's not right now. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. So all of those people you're around, your friends who are still, they don't get it, just leave it. Move on, because they're not ready. And if you try and wake someone up who's not ready, all hell is going to break loose. They'll end up hating you. The reason is because they're not ready for the great truths that you're about to bestow on them. Great question. Inner knowing, you're so appreciated. When we come together, our fields exchange from the source. This is why we can seem so familiar and yet we've never met. Slow motion this side. Don DeMarco.
Don DeMarco.
When we come together, our fields exchange from the source. This is why we can seem so familiar and yet we've never met. Oh my gosh. That was powerful right there. When we come together, our fields exchange from the source. This is why we can seem so familiar and we've never met. Feeling ourselves in everything, having more compassion for the collective. Woo! Can I screenshot that and save? I'm going to screenshot that. I had to screenshot that. That was such a powerful message. Absolutely. One more. And this is the time we're living in right now. Like, a lot of people are meeting people and then they've never met them before, yet it seems so familiar. It seems like you've known these people your entire life. And that's because you have, in a different time and space, in a parallel universe. Feeling ourselves in everything, having more compassion for the collective, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And this is what it's all about, you know. It's truly a great time. You know, it's love over fear. It's truth over lies. It's peace over war. And so many people right now are starting to see this, that it is our time to come together. And that's the good news, because there are so many people. And this is why I always say, it doesn't matter how old you are, where you live, the color of your skin. People all around the planet have different information codes lodged in their DNA. And that's the reason why you can learn from everyone and everything. They can teach you something. Everybody has a different piece of the jigsaw. And it's a truly monumental time we're living in, because the awakening is only intensifying day by day. It's a game of chess. And what's happening is that as the inorganic ones create more wickedness, it forces more people to wake up. And that's why I told you, we've already won. And this is the thing where all of these cataclysmic events that are happening are actually forcing people to wake up. Have you noticed that as well, deep divers? Have you noticed that all of these cataclysmic events, all of these things that are happening are actually serving as a catalyst to wake people up, serving as a catalyst to wake people up. So it is a powerful, powerful time, because so many people right now have been through so much. They can only move forward. They can only fly. And no matter how bad the inorganic ones make the planet, people refuse to live there. And they refuse to be a part of it. They're saying, we're about the new earth. And this is what's happening, which is giving rise to the fifth world. So that's why I told you, it's a win-win situation. Because no matter how bad it gets, it just triggers another awakening somewhere. More people woke up in the last 2 years than in the last 10 years. Pressure produces diamonds. A lot of people are under a lot of pressure. Pressure is not a bad thing. It creates diamonds. And that's what happened. You know, a lot of people became stronger in the last 2 years than they had ever been before, because they were under tremendous pressure. What is a diamond but a large piece of charcoal that handled pressure exceptionally well? And that's what's happening right now. People are becoming diamonds under all of this pressure. They're just doing a little samba baby, turning into a diamond like it's easy. So this alchemical process is actually happening, which is mind-boggling. Because under extreme stress, under extreme pressure, people are morphing into diamonds. I know so many people right now who are living their best life. I know so many people right now who are free like never before. And it's because of all of the pressure. They're saying, screw this, I'm just going to live my life how I want. Right? So everything that's happening can always work for your greatest good if you become an alchemist. Right? I want everybody to hit that like button, deep divers. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, share the video. Hit that like button, share the video. Hit that like button, share the video. So, like I say, a big change is coming. And that's the good news. The great news, because it's about time. But you want to remind yourself not to get carried away. Because at your highest moment, that's when the devil comes. That's the metaphor. So remind yourself it's not over. It's never over. The moment you fall asleep again is the moment you are cast back down. The moment you fall asleep again, you go back right to square one. So this game is always dynamic. This cosmic game is always dynamic. As you're awakening, it doesn't mean you're going to stay there. You can go back down. Some people get sober. Then they go back to drinking. Some people stop gambling. Then they go back to gambling. Some people say, I'm going to eat clean for 1 week. Buy fruit, start juicing. Then they go back to McDonald's. So you got to remind yourself, this is the time we're living in. It doesn't matter where you were. It matters where you are right now. You can backslide. You can get caught lacking. A lot of people got caught lacking in 2020, 2021. You want to be staying focused, because just as you got it, it can be taken away. So you don't want to get carried away. There's work to do. There's work to do. We got to work on ourselves daily. I'm working on myself daily. So many wonderful deep divers who are here. So many wonderful deep divers who are here. The new earth is here. We're ready for it, deep divers. We're creating it. Remind yourself, it can be done. You have the power to create the world you want to live in. Wonderful deep divers. I want to thank everybody for who's joined this powerful live stream podcast, right? A big change is coming. And I want to thank everyone who's been on this live stream. I love all of you. Mecca Ann, you are appreciated. Studio H, everybody who's here. Spiritual and Beyond. Nicholas, you are appreciated. Observer, Anthony, Shelly, everybody who, Jacqueline, you are appreciated. Everyone who's here, you're truly appreciated, deep divers. Let's remind ourselves, we came here to raise the frequency. So I want everybody to hit that like button, share the video, and I'll be back. I'll be back, deep divers. At the same time, go and check out that new video I put out as well, right? But I love all of you, and let's raise the frequency. I'm so happy. The whole world is just beginning. We already won. It's about us all. So many beautiful deep divers here. One love to beautiful deep divers. Feels so good to be alive, baby. Yeah, I'm so happy. It's a choice. See you in the 5D, deep divers. Shout out to the Mark Pagan who remixed this song. Go and check out his SoundCloud. Hit that like button, deep divers. How you feeling today? Raising the frequency. Yeah, I'm so happy to manifest whatever you want, to be whatever you want to be. It's a choice. It's a choice, deep divers. Freedom is a must. We have to become the spoon. Much love to all of you deep divers. Once again, thank you for joining this live stream. Hit the like button, share the video. Hit the like button, share the video. One love to everybody. I'll see you again tomorrow. Let's go.